Fucking hell, 2 videos in 2 days? If I keep this up, I'm gonna have to start plagiarizing like a certain other content creator. Hey guys, it's Rift here, and today we're doing a more interesting matchup as we're looking at Dark Gaia from the Sonicverse versus Monsterverse Godzilla. If you enjoy more of these matchups, feel free to subscribe to the channel and let's get started. When it comes to AP and durability, Monsterverse Godzilla has certainly gone through quite the change over the years. He used to be around the country to continental ranges based off tanking the meteor that killed the dinosaurs and being able to fight the likes of King Ghidorah, whose passive energy could generate superstorms across the planet. However, as of Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla x Kong, you could potentially get him to planetary, solar system, hell, even universal level based off the exahertz worth of energy found in the hollow earth, which characters like Monster Godzilla would be amped by, which a weakened Godzilla at 50% of his power was able to fight. And keep in mind, this is me wanking the shit out of Godzilla, saying that he's maybe 20 times more powerful than a character who should have universal levels of energy powering him, but realistically he's more consistently within the solar system ranges. However, you could put him higher since obviously Godzilla in X Kong was capable of fighting Shimo, who was repeatedly described as being the most powerful threat that Godzilla or Kong had ever faced, so maybe you could put him closer to Uni, but it is what it is. All that would really prove is that Pink Godzilla has eclipsed any scaling that might have been difficult for his previous incarnations, since obviously 20 times amp, and also he's fighting a character who should scale above all of his previous villains, such as Muta, Prime, and Ghidorah. In terms of speed, Godzilla is capable of reacting to characters who can dodge his atomic breath, like Kong and Scar King, with his atomic breath being stated to travel at the same speed as radiation, meaning that it would be light speed. Not to mention, he's also reacted to Mechagodzilla's photon ray, which is exactly the same speed as his, meaning that reacting to light speed is pretty consistent for him. So, I think for the sake of this matchup, we should go over how Dark Gaia compares in physicals before we talk about hacks. First of all, Dark Gaia was not only stated by Dr. Eggman to have near limitless energy, which could very well imply that he's already universal. However, machines created from just a portion of Dark Gaia's energy are capable of fighting Generation Sonic as well as Unleashed Werehog, with Generation Sonic logically scaling above his Sonic and the Secret Rings counterpart, who was able to beat Eraser Jin without much issue. And it's also important to note that Sonic was at 50% of his power at the time, with Eraser Jin consuming 3 of the Arabian Nights stories, which should all be infinite in size, meaning that he had consumed 3 universal realms and Sonic still beat his ass whilst at 50% power, meaning that logically Dark Gaia should upscale from this. Especially since Dark Gaia was capable of taking on Unleashed Supersonic as well as the Gaia Colossus in a 1v2, and sure, he lost that fight. However, it's important to note that Supersonic was in a near exhausted state and passed out from the sheer strain of the fight, which is impressive to think about because weaker versions of Supersonic in 06 could fight Solaris, who is by all definition a super dimensional being who should very well be in the multiversal ranges of power. An argument could be made that Supersonic was not at his base strength, since the sheer amount of energy required to just wake up Dark Gaia was enough to completely drain the Chaos Emeralds of their power. However, regardless, he would still scale to that level since his weak spots were able to take a barrage of attacks from Unleashed Sonic, who should be stronger than Secret Rings Sonic, who has universal scaling regardless, so this power would apply to Dark Gaia, especially at his peak. As far as speed goes, characters with just a portion of Dark Gaia's power are still capable of keeping up with Generation Sonic, who should be significantly faster than Secret Rings Sonic, who was capable of running through an infinite-sized realm, meaning that he would have massively faster than light speeds even at a low ball, closer to infinite speeds, especially as Sonic and Generations can run through the Void, which should be a realm where time and space are not present, meaning that he would be closer to inaccessible speeds, with the Egg Dragoon being capable of reacting to this version of Sonic. And keep in mind that even though Supersonic could very well be weakened, he should still be faster than Secret Rings Sonic, who also has this infinite speed scaling, meaning that it would apply to Dark Gaia regardless, and characters who scale to Dark Gaia like the Gaia Colossus. In terms of intelligence, I may as well rank them both together because both of them are very animalistic when it comes to their showings of intelligence. Dark Gaia has shown to be capable of protecting himself with his dark energy and also demonstrates intelligence in combat since he's able to combat the Gaia Colossus and is literally prophesized to fight the guy for the end of time. Compare that to Godzilla, where he has shown limited martial arts combat, such as being able to superplex Kong off of the fucking pyramids, which is still incredible to see even years later. Dark Gaia should very well be older than Godzilla, since he's literally as old as the Earth itself. However, Godzilla was not dormant for nearly as long and actually has quite a lot of impressive battles and feats under his belt, meaning that in terms of skill and experience, I would give it to Godzilla, even if Dark Gaia is certainly the older one of the two. When it comes to hacks, a lot of Godzilla's abilities will be pretty useless in this fight, since whilst yes, he's able to communicate with Titans, this won't really be applicable here. Not to mention he's not going to be able to command them as his subjects or get outside assistance, meaning that he's just going to be relying on things like his atomic breath, and even if it does scale to his AP, which is around the solar system to universal range, that doesn't really help him in this fight, since Dark Gaia also has a Kamehameha type beam of his own, which should be capable of countering Godzilla's atomic breath, assuming that it scales to Dark Gaia's AP. Meaning that Godzilla's most useful ability, Dark Gaia has a counter for, and from there it gets even worse, to be honest, when we compare their other shit. Godzilla may be billions of years old, and he may have a very long lifespan. However, Dark Gaia is even older, is literally immortal, and it's prophesized that he will always fight like Gaia for the rest of time, and he is literally the Earth's balance of darkness versus light, meaning that you literally can't kill him. The only way to destroy him is by destroying the Earth itself, I guess, which wouldn't help Godzilla much, since he'd just be left to float around in space for the rest of time. And whilst Godzilla is certainly capable of blowing up the Earth, the problem would come in Dark Gaia's other hacks, where he's capable of manipulating the minds and emotions of his opponents, as just with his passive energy alone, he's capable of manipulating people. And whilst, yeah, Sonic is capable of resisting it, Sonic does have incredible levels of willpower, which Godzilla just hasn't demonstrated. He's never needed to demonstrate this, meaning that, yeah, he could very well manipulate Godzilla into fighting for him, which would be a GG. This also creates a new problem where Dark Gaia is so massive that Godzilla's martial arts won't do shit to him. He already struggles to fight characters of the size of Shimo, so how the hell is he gonna fight Dark Gaia? If the intro to Sonic Unleashed is anything to go off of, we can imply that at his absolute maximum power, Dark Gaia would be capable of dwarfing countries in terms of his sheer size. And since Dark Gaia has casual universal scaling, whereas Godzilla is kinda universal even if you wank him, you could honestly say that due to his insane raw power advantage and size advantage, he could just accidentally one-shot Godzilla just by moving his hand around the planet. It really isn't that far-fetched to say. However, even if we use the version of Dark Gaia that was fought at the end of the game, it still wouldn't end well for Godzilla, since he is way too freaking fast. Remember that Godzilla is capable of reacting to characters who can react to light speed attacks, whereas Dark Gaia is capable of reacting to Supersonic, when even base Sonic in a weakened state should be capable of achieving massively faster than light or infinite levels of speed, meaning that there is literally nothing that Godzilla is going to do in this fight. And if all of that wasn't already enough, Dark Gaia is described as being a hyper-energy organism. And do you know who else has hyper in their name? This guy. Yeah, this fight really isn't close, but that's just what I think. What do you guys think? Feel free to subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of the video, and consider joining the Discord server where we talk about your favourite fictional characters. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.